But Drew Hernandez is a strong-minded individual.
Exposing lawlessness.
Hernandez, who is ideological.
Finding the truth.
And use the word Antifa.
This is what they do.
Battling
They're
mainstream
liars. The woke mob, all they can do is lie.
These are the front lines.
Well, we are continuing our conversation with Abel Garcia, detransitioner, walking away from this evil satanic agenda that is attacking not only humans and adults, but children as well. Powerful story, Abel. Again, I just want to thank you for being here and sharing some of the stuff you've been sharing, man. I know it's not easy. I could see the pain in your eyes. I could see that this is not easy for you. But at the same time, I commend you because of the boldness, knowing that there are people out there that need to hear this, that are trapped in this stuff as well. But tonight I wanted to talk about the backlash, okay? Because these so-called tolerant individuals that are just, accepting to all kinds of points of view that they claim, the LGBTQ rainbow mafia and all these people that are just filled with love and rainbows and everything's okay, but the moment you step out of line, you're done. You're canceled. You're anathema in the church. You're excommunicated. You're gone, right? In my opinion, these people are a cult. What has been some of the backlash that you've been receiving from this cult?
So since I've been out as a detransitioner, I don't get a lot of hate as others detransitioners, but I've been called a grifter, a token, that I hate myself as a transgender woman. am still a trans woman, but I have so much transphobia. I hate myself and all that.
Jeez.
And it's just, I find it funny, especially when they use the racial ones, like I said, tokens and grifters, just because I'm going on the what is considered the right-wing side of the media, because I'm going to be honest, you guys are the only one who are willing to give me a voice. We're giving other people like Chloe and anyone who is willing to speak about this, because the left side of the media will not speak to us, and if we do speak with them, it's going to attack us. But the first time I ever got attacked was actually when I was still, quote-unquote, a trans woman, and I wasn't excommunicated by my community because I was doubting my transition, not because I was doubting the ideology. This is the funniest story, Drew.
Interesting.
You're going to find it funny because everyone finds it funny. So, at the time that I was transitioning, I actually wanted to become a cop. Yes, I wanted to be a transgender Hispanic cop in my area, and there was none, that were transgender. Yeah, they had Hispanic, but because I wanted to be a cop. I was going to my local community college. I enrolled to the police academy there. I had reached out to my local transgender community, and I said, hey, I need some help with financial aid for school. Because they were offering it for if you were trans or one of the other identities. And they said, we don't have money for that. I say, that's odd, but okay, never mind then. So that should have been my first red flag, but I didn't think about it. It wasn't until after I eventually failed the academy, and I got in contact with a chief of police for the department I wanted to work with. I became a volunteer for one of his groups because they were getting members of the community and to work. So if you were Hispanic, they wanted one member of the Hispanic community, African American, LGBT, etc. So I was the LGBT member of the board, and I went to the transgender community. It's like, hey, I'm here representing the chief of police, and the department. I know the chief would love to build a better relationship with the LGBT community because a lot of them don't like cops. And the man who I was talking to, which is a man trying to become a woman, he did not like the questions that I asked him because he was saying that I'm asking them like a quote-unquote cisgender person. What? Yeah. And I didn't think anything of it. I said, okay, maybe. And I told him, like, look, I understand. I already know what I'm asking you. But I just want to verify because the chief wants to build a better relationship with you guys.
What were you asking?
Like, what events do you guys have? How can the police help build a better relationship? Just like general questions.
That's too cisgender.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it got funnier. There was another young man. Young man trying to become a woman. And he came from the south. I don't remember exactly where. And he came in listening to our conversation. Both of them ganged up on me. It's like, they said, "Oh, now you're right wing. You're Breitbart." It's like, what? I was like, at the time, I was actually slowly getting red pilled because obviously police academies are more conservative. And yeah, I was getting a little red pill at the time, but I wasn't willing to admit it. But it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I am. But they didn't like it, and that's when they were starting to drag my name through. They didn't drag my name through the mud that day, but I later found out that the man who I was speaking to, the owner of the CEO of the organization, called the chief of police that I was harassing him.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, here's the good news. Luckily, the chief knew me, obviously, and he heard the complaint. Like, it's a load of bull, and they dismissed it. So obviously, I don't think he was happy for that. So eventually, he started to drag my name through the mud. I don't know exactly what was said, but I was eventually told by another. Well, this one being a woman trying to become a man. She told me, like, yeah, they were dragging your name through the mud. And eventually I had to leave the chief of police group, and I got attacked.
This is why I call it a cult, man. You want to know why?
Why?
Because the way that cults function is the moment that you defect or you have a different, not just like an act, but a thought, that is when the exclamation marks go up. And the rest of the cult see that there's someone inside that has the wrong thought, and they become a threat, not only to what they believe, but they become a threat to everyone else that's freaking brainwashed in the cult as well. And the reason why I say that is you were specifically like a diversity hire, pretty much.
Yeah,
right?
I was the dope.
Yeah, you were the diversity hire. So the moment you came out and you started really kind of like showing some behaviors or saying things that go outside of the cult mob mentality, you get canceled, you get removed. And these are the same people that try and tell me that, oh, the discrimination is coming from the right or the discrimination is coming from conservatives. But no, you get out of line, you're gone, and you're absolutely just canceled forever. So what did you do at that point? Like, were you really just like, all right, this is something really wrong here. These people don't give a damn about me. What was going through your head?
So I was hurt because, well, this is a community I had been with since I came out as a transgender woman since November 2016. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? It's like, this was 2018. So I was like, not even 2 years with them. So I was hurt. And I had actually received what is called top surgery for a man like myself. It was breast implants. So I was still healing and all that. And after that, I just had so much time to think to myself. I had so much time to reflect everything. And I honestly got hit in the face by reality. I got hit by a truck, got slapped in the face, however you want to call it. But reality just said, one day just said, hey, and just punched me in the face. And I had to take a step back and realize I was destroying my body. And that was not good. I'm going to be honest, I became a very heavy alcoholic after that.
Wow. Let me ask you this before we get into the aftermath. When you decided to go through the surgeries, what was going through your mind? Were you thinking like there's like the grass is greener on the other side and there's going to be this huge euphoria that's coming and I'm just going to be like a whole new human and everything's just going to be great? Is that what you were thinking before you went through that surgery?
So I'm going to add on to what Chloe said last week. Yeah, there was a huge honeymoon period. But they also did lie to me a lot, saying that they never even told me any potential side effects, any damages done to my body. It was just all good news. Yes, I would eventually become a woman, the woman I was supposed to be. And
what? They would tell you that?
Yeah. Well,
like verbatim or just like...
it's been a couple years, but...
Yeah, but like communicating that tone, that message to you,
But here's the weirdest part that I remember, which is burned into my mind. That man who got mad at me by those questions was at the clinic that I went to when I finally got accepted the hormones and went to a doctor to get checked out to make sure I was good to go. He came after he was invited by the doctor, he came up and what he mostly made me do is stand up and do a little twirl for him. And he says, just looking at me, he says, yes, I can tell you were supposed to be born a woman. I can definitely tell by how your body's structured.
What?
Yeah.
Was this before or after you did the surgery?
No, this was like way before. Like this was still in 2016.
So just putting these things in your head
Yeah.
that you should be a
Yeah.
woman.
Mm-hmm.
What does that? What did that do to you? It just like confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias, yes. Obviously, like I said, I never got any pushback, so I couldn't really doubt anything. The only doubt I ever had was my own thoughts, and I say that because before I even started anything, before I even went to therapy, I told myself I want to take everything a bit slower because for some reason, the back of my head, my conscience, however you want to call it, something in my head said, let's take everything slowly. I wanted to do 5 years before I got breast implants and 10 years before I removed my genitals because I knew that one was going to be way more permanent than anything else. And that actually saved me.
Wow. Abel, let's continue this conversation. So tell us which surgeries did you do and how have they negatively impacted you, not only physically, but psychologically for your future? So
I only ever got, again, what is called top surgery. So just breast implants, that's it. I actually went to see a doctor not even a year into when I started hormones. So I started, again, hormones in November. And 11 months later, in October, after getting some of my medical records back, within 11 months after starting everything, a medical professional signed off on me for surgery. And he signed off for top surgery, and what is referred as bottom surgery for a man like myself is remove my genitals and create, as some have said, an axe wound between my legs. And as I said before the break, I wanted to take everything slowly, especially with bottom, because I know that one's way more permanent. I didn't even ask for it. I told him, look, I only want breasts right now. I eventually want to get my face done, which would have been just change my face structure from masculine to more feminine, or as feminine as they could. And then eventually I told him, like, I eventually want to get bottom, but I want to wait a bit longer for that one. And a few weeks after that session, I got a letter from my insurance saying, you've been approved for 2 surgeries. I'm like, 2 surgeries? I'm kind of confused. I only asked for 1. And after talking to a few friends and everything, we realized what the second letter was, which was bottom surgery. It's like, I didn't ask for this. I ignored it, and looking back now, kind of glad I didn't take it. But overall, obviously, half of my chest is numb. I can't even feel anything. So if you wanted to stab me right now, Drew, with a pen or anything, please don't. I wouldn't even realize it. I would have, just because I've poked myself. It's like I don't even feel anything.
So that's got to be severe nerve damage.
Yeah. Obviously, after that, I had to get the implants eventually removed, and I was left with excess skin. The surgeon who added the implants, he also removed them and fixed my chest, and he was able to get it covered under my insurance to reconstruct it after he had removed the implant under gynecomastia, and that all it was technically what they do to young women, a double mastectomy, and grafting my nipples back. So my chest looks completely destroyed, if I'm honest.
You know, man, I this is not easy stuff to hear because these people treat humans like they're a commodity, man, or like a car, or it's like the way that they just kind of throw like the insurance is like, you didn't even ask for the bottom surgery, but oh, hey, look, you got approved for it anyways. Like, is that kind of like the vibe you get from like these medical healthcare professionals? Like, they're just like selling you this like glorious change into the woman that you believe you're going to be, as if it's like plastic surgery of like, a female just wanting to get like, breast implants. Oh, you're going to look amazing. Oh, you want to get your lips done? You're going to look great. It's going to be the image you want. You're going to be a beautiful. Is that like pretty much how they sell it? Just trans?
Looking looking with hindsight being 2020 what it is now, yes, that's how they did it. Obviously, they didn't outright say it, but I've also had the
But the way they deal with you, the way they
Yeah.
treat you, the way they make you
and
feel
not just
comfortable.
me, but with
and-
other detransitioners. I have a friend in the UK. That's how they did it to him, and he's worse than I am, if I'm going to be honest.
Let me ask you this: what do you think is the biggest regret out of this right now?
I think my biggest regret is the fact that I did all this. I can't really pinpoint anything exactly. Just overall, the fact that I was able to do this, able to destroy my body to the point that it's now. But I think I'm gonna look at the silver lining out of this. I've grown and matured a lot as a person. At that time, before I did any of this, I was just a very shy kid. I was very timid. I didn't really like anything. But now I'm out here more public, more outgoing.
Real quick, let me ask you: do you think that was used against you because you were naive?
I would believe
Because
so.
you were kind of ignorant at the time. You're young. You're not clearly thinking. Do you think that was kind of used against you? Like, do you think the people that kind of led you down that path to further go, do you think they were aware of that? That you were naive and that you were young and you're really not thinking about the future?
I want to say yes, because that's what I've seen with a lot of detransitioners, especially the younger crowd. They were very naive, very immature, and honestly, we were taken advantage of, honestly.
I think it's clear, and just like we talked about with Chloe last week, is there's got to be some good. I know it's hard to say, but there's got to be some good that comes out of this. What the enemy meant for evil, God turns around and uses it for good in his glory. And I think right now, what are some of the good things that you're seeing coming at us? Obviously, you have the ability to speak out. You're speaking at different events. You're speaking up for yourself. And I'm sure thousands, possibly millions, hopefully not millions in the future, but, from stopping doing this or maybe going through it right now, what are some of the good things that you've been seeing since you've decided to detransition and you're starting to see things differently now?
So since I've detransitioned and been out publicly, I'd say the good news is, like I said, I've matured as a person. I'm not as naive as before. Oh, there's a little part of me still, but
We're all always learning, man.
overall, I've made a lot of good connections. I've made a lot of new friends. Like last week's guest, Chloe is a good friend of mine. I'm good friends with a lot of detransitioners. A lot of people are honestly concerned, and I don't mean that like they're concerned just because they want to say, "Oh, I'm concerned for you." It's like, no, they are actually concerned because I've destroyed my body. And I guess the other good news is that I've had the opportunity to speak on platforms like here, and God is using me to fight the devil and the evil here on this world to save hopefully thousands, if not millions, if sadly millions go through this. Even if right now evil calls me evil and hateful and all that, that's
Let them.
fine. I tell these people, if you want to call me evil, call me hateful, call me a bigot, call me transphobic, tell me I'm committing a genocide. But if all that just means I love you enough to tell you, hey, you're destroying your body, maybe in the first few years it can handle it, but in the long run it's not going to be able to support what you're doing. I'm fine becoming what your picture of evil is. I will become the devil in your eyes, as long as by the end of this, I'm able to help people and save at least one.
So you see this community, like when you're at events and they're calling you fascist, racist, white supremacist, and you're like, dude, I already got a bunch of stuff in my head messed up, and you're telling me like I'm white. Like, at least that's how I feel a lot of time when it happens to me. But when you see that at these protests, when I watch Chloe, I saw her in Nashville speaking, the backlash, insane, just like literal demon manifestations, dude. People's foaming at the mouth, their eyes are rolling back. It's insane. A lot of these people are on drugs. I asked her the same question. I'm curious for you too, is when you see that, when you see these people and how lost they are, how twisted they are, some of these people are very aggressive and they're evil and need to be dealt with. But when you see that, what's going through your mind when you see that, when you're at these events speaking and stuff?
So when I see these people, I feel pity, sadly, for them, because I used to be one of them. Again, I tell these people, I love you enough to tell you what you're doing is wrong, and honestly, I'm not even scared. These people they might be scary in numbers, but when you stand in front of them, they're like cockroaches. They crawl away. And honestly, I'm facing my own demons every day. I still have to. So if they want to cause me issues, I'll just tell them, take a ticket, get in line, and when I call your name and number, please come up, and I'll deal with you when your turn comes. But right now, I think I got a couple demons who are higher priority than one of these activists yelling at me. Is like
The woke whites that just want to tell you how to live your life.
Yep, that's what I'll say. The white people who are so woke that they become racist at this point, saying that I'm a traitor to my own community.
It's always the woke whites, right? Have you been seeing that a lot too? Is these woke white people, these so-called liberals that are just telling a Hispanic how to live his life?
Yeah,
Are you seeing an increase in that too?
I actually dealt with that in California when I was there a few weeks ago.
What happened?
So I was in Anaheim, California, trying to see if we can talk with the AAP to have them stop trying to sterilize children. And there was a lot of woke white people who were also trans yelling at us.
Of course.
And I was bored, and I was like, I was also talking to some other people. I actually spoke with Jorge Ventura, and he actually introduced me to another journalist, James Klug, I think is how you pronounce his last name. We were talking, and we were actually about to do an interview, and then all these people come up. It's like, oh, great, I have to deal with them now. So I said, you know what? Pulled out my cell phone, went on Instagram Live, and I just did like maybe a quick 1 minute, 2, and I just started trolling them. I was like, we have racist white people here telling him the voice of a minority, a Mexican minority who's a detransitioner. Like, how dare these fascists, these racists do this? And one of them, which was the craziest one out of that day, he was saying, I'm indigenous. Like, and I just ignored. I was like, and I just kept calling them white people. Like, God damn, these white people are so racist.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
It's psychotic, dude. These people are racist as hell, man, and they literally are, and they hate you. Isn't it crazy, man? It's those woke whites that tell us how to live our lives and dictate how we're gonna be, and they always pop up and they're screaming and foaming at the mouth. It's just like, I'm just so sick of these people, man. You know, and especially at the end of the day, they hate you. They hate you. And they feel like they could dictate your life. You know, I wanted to ask you this last thing, Abel. What is your message to kids out there, or young people out there, or people that are in that dark place that are afraid to come out and detransition because they don't want to get canceled and destroyed? What is your message to them right now?
Sure. So I'll say for the ones who are still thinking about transitioning and who want to do this, don't do it. You're going to destroy your body. I know others are going to tell you I'm a liar, I'm being transphobic, I hate myself, I hate you, and all that. I don't. I love you. I love you enough to tell you the truth that you're going to hurt your body in the long run. You're going to have, yes, honeymoon periods right now and for a couple of years, especially with all the love bombing, but in the end, your body's going to eventually give out. To those who are currently in the ideology right now who, again, same thing. Your body's going to eventually give out. You can probably take it a couple years, maybe a few decades, but your body can only handle so much.
Thank you, Abel. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
You know, I'm proud of you because you are speaking out against the devil, man, straight up. These people hate you. They hate children, and it's necessary, and it needs to happen. Whatever you need from us, you let us know, man. We support you. We love you, and we're here for you. You know, I know the audience is listening. Where can they follow you and see any of your content that you're putting out and anything that you might have coming up? Maybe you're speaking at other places. Where can they find all that information?
Sure. So I do all my videos on YouTube at Abel Garcia. As of now, I'm honestly done talking about myself, not because I'm done with it, but actually because I've said everything that I could. So now I'm just going to start doing interviews with other detransitioners, give them a voice, a platform so they can speak, and when I get time, I'll probably go do some journalism here and there. I've done that a little, so I like it.
Oh, there you go.
But I'll mostly communicate through Twitter, which is official Abel G, which is my also tag on Instagram.
Well, there you have it. I love it. Abel Garcia going on offense, man. Don't let these people stop you, okay? I'm going to tell you one thing. God uses the foolish things to confound the wise. He uses the weak to take down the powerful. I'm extremely introverted as well. People may not know that, but I just am. And, you know, God will take you and just throw you in there and do something radical with your life, because that is exactly who he is and what he does. Guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. Abel, love you, man. Anything you need, you let us know. My name is Drew Hernandez. These are the Front Lines, and I will see you guys on the next one.
We must play offense. Game on.
You expect the rest of the world to live in La La Land. We're not.
We've been saying these things from day one.
Our solemn vow to you, be good, be brief, be gone.
You might find yourself changing your opinion on things you've never even thought twice about. That really sets America apart.
You are not ready for season 2. This is Reloaded.
My life tale and my truth has been to fight socialism.
Are you familiar with structural racism?
Yeah, it's a myth.